Hey guys.
There he is. How you doing, Kurt?
Good. Let me grab a chair to sit on real quick. That way I can steady up the phone the best that I can.
You got it.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I know it's a busy day for you, Kurt. We'll get right to questions and we'll kick it off with Woody Kane. Go ahead, Woody.
Hey, Kurt, appreciate your time. It wasn't all that long ago you raced this track, so give us a comparison of how this drives compared to what you had last time you raced here.
Yeah, today it has been a fun, exciting, interesting day. It feels like first day at school because of how different the car is. With a sequential gearbox, that's the most fun. I love shifting through the gears sequentially. You got to go second, third, fourth, fifth, and then you got to go back fourth, third, second. It's not your typical H pattern that we've had. So this gearbox is fun to drive. The brakes are much bigger, and the car can stop a lot quicker. And then we actually have a hybrid horsepower range. Right now, we're not the full 750, but we're not the low 550. But overall, the car's first impression is fun. It's exciting and different, and I encourage everybody to dig into it to find its differences and to respect the process that NASCAR is going through to implement all these new exciting components. So, new front bulkhead, new rear bulkhead, and then overall the car's driving and its feel out on the roval feels like I'm qualifying every lap because of how impressive the lap times are and how much grip the car has in certain spots of the racetrack. So overall, a lot of fun, and it's neat working with all these different people trying to sort out a car that has never been on a road course before.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Lee Spencer. Go ahead, Lee.
Hey, champ. Hope you're doing well. You're a guy that has driven sports cars, and Truex had never driven a sports car. Does this feel more like a sports car compared to the big, stocky stock car that you rumble around this track in?
It's a good marriage between the two. An Australian V8 car, and it had a sequential gearbox, very similar to this, if not the same gearbox. And with the independent rear suspension, there's different lingo and talk about anti-dive and anti-squat and different ways we're going to adjust these cars instead of your typical track bar or wedge. So there's a lot of adjustments and a lot of new terminology. And so a driver's a driver; they're going to figure it out. And then you got to go to the next level and how you translate that information to your crew and how the crew goes through the new components and finds out what's the most effective. That's going to make the biggest difference.
So you guys are using paddles as opposed to a stick shift?
It's a one lever sequential gearbox shift, and so you start out in neutral, and then you've got to go first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and then down fourth, third, second, first. And so you can't just go and go through the H pattern and go to whatever gear you want. You got to go through them all.
So how problematic will that be with transmissions for guys that who aren't familiar with that pattern?
It won't be too bad. I think a racer will figure it out. A lot of us drove legend cars, and that's a motorcycle sequential gearbox. That's what is the easiest comparison. Might not be the most handsome and powerful comparison, but like an Australian V8 supercar or a sand rail car box, those are.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Bob Pockers. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Kurt, have you gotten a chance to drive anywhere close to where Truex has been? Have you gotten any feel of how this car might race?
So we've been on different ends of the track. The focus is to go through tires for Goodyear and finding the best combination. There's a Watkins Glen tire here. There's a Mid-Ohio tire, and there's also a Sonoma tire that we need to run. And so I think we're just trying to log laps on components for road course stuff. And then Wednesday will be the primary focus on getting the cars out there together and seeing how they manipulate the air and if they're less affected by the air.
And is this car, I mean, I want to say, is it in driving it compared to what you normally drive? Like, does it turn better? Does it steer better? Do you just have, are you accelerating quicker or braking later?
Yes, everything. It even sounds throatier and deeper, and the sound was very cool. I mean, I don't get to hear cars a lot because I'm into car racing, but to hear Truex go around and to hear the split exhaust, one pipes out the left, one pipes out the right, that's an old school Trans Am style thundering power feel. But the car accelerates quicker, it stops quicker, it turns quicker, it's more nimble. All the lap time that's been gained is through the infield section with this independent rear suspension and the ability to shift quicker. So really the car, I don't want to use the word steroids. It's just the car is more effective, and the car is more sensitive to changes and to feel. Even with a shorter sidewall, the car's riding smooth, but you feel everything more vividly.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Bozy. Go ahead, Bozy.
Hi, Kurt. I'm going to ask you the same questions I asked Martin. So some of the earlier tests, the guys were complaining about twitchiness in the steering. What are your thoughts on the way the steering feels and whether it's twitchy or how responsive it is or how soft it is?
So we're doing good right now. They still have one more change to make things firmer and to have the sensitivity turned down a little bit more so. Right now, yes, it's on the aggressive side for feel and twitchiness and movement, but we're at a road course for the first time, and I like its movement back and forth, left to right. But on the oval sections, it's a little bit on edge, and we need to try to perfect that, and that's more of the Wednesday focus. But we will run different valving tonight to help with the steering, just to see what that change does. But road course stuff, we're in the box. Oval, we'll know more on Wednesday.
Okay. And a follow-up question. I know you guys have been in and out multiple times. Do you have any knowledge of what kind of changes they're making between runs? Are they throwing big things at it, or just small, pressure changes and stuff like that?
I would say we've done pretty good to have aggressive changes so far, small changes, and different tire compounds have been across the car. My brain is swirling about all the gears I want to change in the gearbox, but we're just going to leave it for today. But yeah, the car is reacting well to typical changes and to new things that we're talking about as far as anti-dive, anti-squat. The caster changes we haven't done yet are much different than years past with the way the shocks mount to the control arms and the wishbones. So a bunch of cool stuff to learn.
Cool. So have you guys been running the same ratios in the box all day?
Yes. Yeah. Same ratios. I don't know what Truex has in his,
yeah.
but it's ballpark.
They haven't changed any of the drop gears or anything.
No, we're just trying to get a lot of the big things done on NASCAR's checklist instead of trying to fine tune for speed. We'll worry about that in 2022.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Next, we'll go to Alexandria. Go ahead, Alex.
Hey, Kurt. Was there anything, I guess, barring any of the fine-tune adjustments, was there anything that you didn't like about driving the car?
So far, everything has a reason for either the twitchiness or the comfort level in the braking zones, or even the feel out on the oval. It's all had a reason for why it did what it did. Nothing's been super surprising, if that makes any sense.
Well, yeah, I guess that's another question. Was it what you were expecting it to feel like?
It was like first day of school. Honestly, there's so much to look at and digest and feel. And overall, though, I still have yet to even see the lap times, but they told me it's been an impressive pickup of speed versus the traditional car. So to me, that says next gen all over it. When you're going faster, turning better, accelerating harder, and braking harder, and braking's faster. Just faster's better. And so we'll just keep fine tuning it.
And then do you know are you planning to run the same car on Wednesday as the one that you're in today?
Yes.
Okay.
So that car that's behind me, tomorrow they'll switch all the components over for oval track settings and then go out there on Wednesday.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, Kurt, I think that's it for you. Appreciate all the time and enjoy the rest of the test. Thanks for doing this.
Great, guys. Thanks for chiming in. Appreciate the questions.
Okay, that'll wrap up our media availability for this afternoon. Appreciate the time, everybody. We'll have this content on NASCARmedia.com. If you need the audio